Orange Lake Board meeting of April 16th. If we could start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Wow, I haven't done that in so long.
I know, I added it
Since
to all
May
of our
25th.
meetings. Yeah.
Still remember.
All right, so next we'll call the meeting to order and we'll review the posted meeting notices with Tom Hayes.
So the notices for the meeting were posted in advance. The requirement is 18 hours, but they were all posted April 1st at the Township Hall on its website, and all is in order considering the legal requirements.
Right. Next we'll go to public comment, so if you'd like to come on up and speak. Just wait till you get to the microphone though.
I didn't really have much. I'm Roy Anania, 3200 Chickering. Everybody knows me. So anyway, I'm looking at the budget, the green and the yellow, and I'm wondering just, is this a municipal thing? But I noticed that the 23 budget was the same, but then business operations went up. So we've got a surplus of over 15,000. I don't know if the annual amount would be decreased to try and eat up some of that surplus. So that's my only comment. So,
Thanks.
thanks.
Right.
What's that?
Here's the seams.
Well, and we'll talk, we usually
So we'll address that when we get to the budget,
to the
budget
one
item.
too.
but
Yeah,
It's also online.
yeah. And then it's likely the item of the insurance that we had to add. 'Cause
It is.
yeah. Okay, so next we'll close public comment. And next we'll move on to approving the business meeting minutes of May 25th. Unless we have any changes, I'd look for a motion. Motion by Riparian Barber.
Approve.
And support by Commissioner Gershenson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That passes. Next, we have review the 2023 lake maintenance. Do you want Tom or
So
Barry?
with us today is Paul Dominic of Lake Pro.
You look like you're on a lake. That's a good picture.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Sorry about that. Some technical issues.
Yep, we can hear you, Paul.
Okay, good. I missed a few things, so are we starting the lake part? For some reason, my volume wasn't working. So.
Yep, we're at the review of 2023 lake maintenance.
Okay, yep. Let me pull it up here real quick. So, the 2023, as you guys know, we were having a little bit of issues with the launch situation at the Commons ground, and that kind of pushed back a few treatments here and there as we were trying to make it through the season. With that said, it seems to be everything's negotiated out going to 2024, but as we went through the 2023 season with the launch issues, trying to get on there consistently, it became a little bit of a problem. We did have a major algae bloom that we did get a call, I think, from Barry Barber. Did get out, we did get it under control. But for the most part, through the season, the lake did, I think, for the most part, with the herbicides, algaecide treatments, was for the most part under control. The same program was done similar through the last 22 and 21 season as 23. I don't see anything changing for the most part there. So kind of just a quick fill-in on there. I guess if you guys have questions, I can discuss it more.
You have any questions?
Yeah, I had one. The water temperature, that's just pretty much a function of our weather, I suppose, but it went up significantly over the last 2 reporting periods.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, when temperature is dealing with the weather, the water inflow, the sun, but also the depth of the water could really change the temperature of that water. And just being Orange Lake and knowing the shallow depths of a good majority of that. But for the most part, I'm going to try to pull up my thing right now for the report. I don't think there was many changes whatsoever for water temperature across the board with any other parameters that have kind of been going on for the last so many years, unless you're spotting something different that you caught.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, technically, we don't, there was, for public comment,
Yeah.
can we,
It's just about the bloom when it comes.
You're gonna have to come to the microphone. This is put out on cable and we have people who watch.
Okay.
That's why we only do the public comment in the beginning.
So my question is, are you going to treat the algae bloom sooner this year, or has that changed?
No, so we're going to start the program in the next 2 weeks, being out on the lake. We've got, it seems like more than anything, it's been the launch is the issue of getting the boat in and out with the circumstances that are over there, the neighbors. So that is the biggest hiccup. It wasn't the hiccup treating, it was the hiccup of launch and getting so wet, can't get back there, and then a few neighbors not agreeing on things that allow us to access that point. So as long as the launch has no issues this year, we should be able to get on, get off, and keep things in check every 3 weeks. Is kind of how the schedule is kind of set up, 3 to 3.5 weeks. So as long as we're able to get on, do what we need to do, I don't see why we can't keep everything in motion and keep the lake in check, and hopefully not have like that big algae bloom like you had.
Excuse me, I think you know, but I'll help you in any way I can, and I have in the past, but if you got a problem with that guy that owns the house, if you're in the water, you're looking to, it's east to the left. That's the guy that's the problem, correct?
yes.
So if I'm looking at the water at
If you're
the
in-
launch, it's the gentleman on the right.
Depends whether it's
That
looking from your
took
house
over,
or from the,
is that Barry
Towards
that
the
took
water
over,
or away from the water?
That bought that house and took over that house on the easement to the right.
yeah,
Okay, and so what's the latest with him?
So the situation is, and I don't know how much we were the cause of anything. I think it was a cause of other people using the easement, like he didn't like kids coming down there. And then he planted tons of trees all the way down the line, has done all that, which has now shrunk that easement to a very, very small area. It's full of water consistently because it's a low area and all the
Yeah.
water flows into those, so it's very hard for us to go back there without causing damage. I did talk to Marvin from the township, met on site, did all that stuff, and then sounds like
Today.
got a plan worked out, and we're going to have boards that are left on site, and try to get this situation under control so we can get in and out, but it's always wet, Barry, so the problem is, no matter if we have a range or a boat, you're always leaving tracks, and
Yep.
we've now an easement that's really, really small, and it's hard to get through there.
You know, you can always use the easement on the opposite side of the lake.
I know that easement, we try to bury, and it's not possible. It is like a foot of depth over there. And
Why?
really can't get in there whatsoever. We've tried it, we've got stuck, we've done it multiple times, and it's just, I wish I could give you a better answer, but it's not doable.
Well,
So we-
if worse comes to worse, you're welcome to use my property.
We did use that one time, and that's, I mean, it's a backup, but it's kind of complicated to get back in your backyard.
But it's doable.
It is
in the
doable,
worst
but
case.
Because that new house that's getting built back next to you,
Yeah.
with the silk fences and all the stuff that's going on, it might have changed once that's all cleaned up and stuff, but it might be doable. That's the backup of backup, because
Yeah.
it's still another complicated issue to get a range or a boat around without, hitting anything.
I get you. Call me if you're in that kind of a situation, and I'll help you.
Okay.
Thank
okay.
you.
But other than that, I think we got everything worked out for the launch. My goal is I'm going to meet there the first time we go out. The president of the association there is going to meet me. We're going to look at where these boards can be put, hopefully get everything under control, so every time we come back after that, we have no issues.
Good.
So I can also add a little bit to that. Paul and I, went there together last fall, I guess, and met with the owners that are where the easement is located. They were insisting that we not use their easement at all, and because well, there's several arguments, but the first one is because there's another easement, and we took them to the other easement, and Paul and I, and showed them.
Happens in the lake.
Right, and showed them, as Paul said, that easement is not viable for the launch of any kind of a boat. They did finally agree that, yes, okay, you've got to use our easement. And we also then asked if, because of the wetness of that area, and last year the spring was so wet, it probably it exacerbated the issue. So far this year, maybe it won't be as bad as last year, but because of the depth and because of the frequent use of the sprinkler system that the owner has, the land there is always wet. We asked if we could adjust the grade some to affect so that the easement area is not as wet. And we couldn't get anywhere on that this year, but we did get anyway the agreement that yes, continue to use my easement, just stay within the easement area instead of coming out to the side, which is what they were doing. Because the easement area is so wet at the lakefront, on occasion Paul's team would launch from more in front of his property, which really sent him ballistic.
Yeah.
And so they're really going to focus on being in front of that property. And I guess now if they need, they could even try to use your property.
No problem.
But,
Is there a way that, are these scheduled where they could know when to not use their sprinkler so it's not as wet? It sounds like it's self-created, where if we could just not have them use the sprinkler, it won't be as wet.
it would not be as wet if they turn the sprinkler off.
Like, can we give them a range of, hey, we'll be out there within these days so that they won't run their sprinkler?
That's a good idea.
I can do that. The biggest thing we also deal with because of the grade and everything, if it rains a lot, let's say it rains like tomorrow, a ton, it's going to be sopping wet for a long time there. So whether he's running sprinklers or not, there is a bunch of dips in there that just hold water. And if you go down there and you walk all those people's property, that whole back of their area, their yards, is just squish all the way
It's true.
through.
Mine's the
So
same way.
whether he runs his sprinklers or not, I don't necessarily know if that's going to matter.
Okay.
I mean, it couldn't hurt, it couldn't make
couldn't
it worse. I mean, it might make it better. But no doubt, the water comes from across the street even and sort of flows down where the easement actually is.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's a challenge. And the new owner, I think the prior owners really just had no issue with it. You know, they wanted the lake treated and didn't make any concerns about launching from wherever. This owner is much more concerned about the property and lines and following those lines. It makes it more challenging for them. But they did admit when I was with them that they absolutely want the lake treated. They don't want to stand in the way of treatment. They also just want the easement to be adhered to. And if they can, I mean, this year, so that, they were not open to a change in grade this year, but they did leave the door open that, look, if we can't still make it work this year, let's revisit the idea of adding some grading there in a future year. So we've paved the way, sort of,
Well, that's nice.
to maybe address, if it doesn't work this year, to addressing it next year. But still, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. That's what I was going to finish up with too. We have been offered to do the grading and help with all that stuff, but it was just kind of a little wall put there. But I think we got everything in check at least. I'm pretty sure we can get on the water. Like I said, we're going to have boards that we're going to work on leaving there. So if there is some major water areas, we can lay them down and travel over that, avoid as much any kind of damage as possible. Sometimes it's unavoidable there, but our goal is to do the best we can. I think the neighbors have no issues with Lake Pro. I don't think that's the issue at all. I think it's just the easement and other things that were kind of going on with that. So I think we're good as long as we can kind of try to get to a schedule, stick to a schedule, as long as the weather forecast doesn't really screw that up.
Yeah, thanks for everything, Paul. He was we really worked hard on it last year, and all year long they were working on and getting in there and being cooperative. And I appreciate all the ongoing help on this.
And then as anything else with the lake, for the most part, there is restrictions what we can and can't do. Within the restrictions, we're going to be doing the shorelines of the homes for algae control out to the deeper area. We're making a path that goes all the way to would be the east end for
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? All right, thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome, and anything else, please email me, I'm available, and then I'm going to send you guys a schedule probably end of this week, so then we can lock that in if you want to pass that to the homeowner. And what I do is, like, it'll be a certain day, and then the day after is a rain day, but if we have weather issues, like, really get that launched, and we show up when we can't do it, we'll let you know.
Appreciate it.
Okay, not a problem. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Paul.
Bye-bye.
Yep, yeah, bye.
Next, we'll move on to confirming expenditures since last review of May 26, 2023 through April 11, 2024. Can we have time to go over those?
So in the packet are a list of expenditures since the Lake Board's last meeting. In particular, you have legal services, the insurance, Lake Pro, various maintenance items. Nothing is out of the ordinary, and simply asking for confirmation of the invoices.
Unless there's any questions or comments, I'd look for a motion to confirm.
Motion.
Motion by Riparian Barber, second by Commissioner Christensen. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That passes. Next, we have review and certification of the delinquent 2023 assessments to the assessor.
Did we skip over number 7?
Oh, did-
Yeah, number 7.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's my fault. Number 7 is review the 2023 revenues, expenses, and fund balance report. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. Attached is the report from the Township's accounting department. It shows the financial state of the Lake Improvement Board as of March 6th. An updated final fund balance report will be produced by the accounting department first of next month. But as you can see, revenues less expenses. We have a surplus of $614, making the current reserve be almost $16,000.
Thank you. Now we'll go on to number 8, review and certify the delinquent 2023 assessments to the assessor.
So every fall, the Treasurer's Office produces a report showing the delinquent accounts for the Lake Improvement Board. There are 7 delinquent accounts as of last fall, and while this is handled administratively by the Township, this Lake Board still needs to confirm the delinquent reports at its earliest meeting the following year. As we've mentioned in previous meetings, a lot of people don't pay the invoices because they just want to pay it all at once when it gets added to the December tax bill.
Does anyone have any questions or comments? If not, I'd look for a motion to certify. Motion by Commissioner Gershenson,
Second.
second by Riparian Barber. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That passes. Next, we have consider the adoption of the 2024 budget.
Okay. So up on the screen is the proposed budget for the 2024 fiscal year. Pretty much the lake and property maintenance is the same. The only thing that really went up is the business and operations expense. The Lake Board Secretary and Treasurer, along with myself, met with Mr. Sawmiller, who has helped us prepare the general liability insurance and the directors and officers liability insurance. And those quotes came in higher than they were last year, so that's why the amount was increased.
And those, just as a reminder, are for the, to protect the individuals that serve on this board, since we have had Lake Board sued recently, and it protects you and others. Yeah.
And the increase wasn't as bad as it was for other lakes, so.
And it wasn't remotely close to the legal filings. We had to fight the lawsuit at the other ones. So that was what, about 13,000? For
Yeah,
one of
maybe
them?
closer to 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
In the end, what's it all total up?
right. So it's definitely, 1, it protects you, and 2, it saves money. So, are there any other items that you want to touch on at all? No? Then I would look for a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Gershenson. Support by Riparian Barber. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? And then we have new business. Do you want to go over?
Well, usually I've been mentioning at these Lake Board meetings, the activities the township has undertaken with regard to watercraft on the lakes. At the township board question, not a Lake Board issue, but we are here talking about the lake, so I have just been, mentioning it. As you may know, the township has petitioned the Department of Natural Resources to allow us to adopt a local watercraft control on the lakes. Orange Lake is one of those lakes where we asked the DNR to allow us to have a no motorboat restriction, slow no wake speeds, and limited electric motors. The DNR did not agree with everything we suggested. They did agree that local watercraft controls were appropriate here, but authorized only the slow no wake rule, which is essentially that gets to the heart of the safety concerns of any vessel on Orange Lake or 9 other lakes would be operated only at a slow no wake speed. And so that's where we're at presently. The Township Board at its next meeting, which is Wednesday the 24th of April, will be considering whether to begin the process of adopting an ordinance to require all vessels operate a slow no wake speed, and consider what other actions it might endorse to continue to pursue a local watercraft control that would prohibit the use of internal combustion engines on Orange Lake and other lakes. And that's where we stand right now.
Any other questions? Any new business? No? All right, then I look for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Commissioner Gershon. I'm not used to the quiet. She's so much quieter than us. Commissioner Gershenson made a motion.
Support.
Support by Ray Perry and Barber. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That does pass. Thank you.